Hi, this is Sister Blake. I'm just here reading your essay, and I'm going to give you a few pointers on this video because I thought it might be a little faster. So right off the bat, I see here that your title is Climate Change and Global Warmings. You will be graded on your title, so I'm really glad you included one. It says that your title needs to be catchy, and I would say that this is not a catchy title, but it is a descriptive title, so that's good. But it's not really engaging or intriguing to me. So your first sentence says, global warming causes climate change. So the two are very much related. Global warming is the term used to describe the current increase in the Earth's average temperature. Climate change refers not only to global changes in temperature, comma, you need a comma right there, but also to changes in the wind, the length of seasons, plural, and then you need another comma, as well as the strength and frequency of extreme weather events like drought and floods. The Earth climate today is changing very rapidly and differently. Besides that, the climate changes in our world are affecting our lives psychologically, physically, and emotionally. The changes in climate are affecting how people, plants, and animals live. Okay, so here, I'm wondering, is this your thesis statement? That climate changes in the world are affecting our lives in these ways and affecting plants and animals. I'm a little bit unclear if that's your thesis statement. That's what I'm going to assume, because this line right here, as the world climate is dynamic and always changing through natural cycles, we are now also worried about the changes occurring today that have been speeding up and could seriously affect, this needs to say affect, not the ing, human lives. So because this is a persuasive paper, I'm wondering, what are you persuading me? What are you trying to prove to me? What's the argument here? Is the argument that, climate change doesn't exist, or global warming doesn't exist, or that it's not really affecting us psychologically, physically, emotionally? That's what I'm thinking you're going to be proving. So just going forward into the essay, your thesis statement's a little unclear. I'm not sure which statement. I would think this right here would be the most controversial, this line about it affecting us in these ways. But this line is in the place where a thesis statement normally is found, and it's not super controversial. So I'm a little bit unclear about that. I do like your introduction, though. You've given a good background on what these words mean. You talk about what your stance is, that it's affecting us, and that it's changing human lives. So I appreciate that, and that's part of what you're being graded on today. Well, not today, sorry, in this essay, is the quality of your introduction. So I think that was a good introduction. Again, I'm a little unclear about which part of it is your thesis statement. So let's move on. You say here, across the world, people are taking action to prevent climate change. In 2007, scientists from the International Panel on Climate Change predicted that the warming oceans and melting glaciers, due to global warming and climate change, could cause sea levels to rise. So some islands in the Pacific will be flooded by seawater and even disappear very soon. Because of this, we must take action as soon as possible to try to solve this problem to prevent more serious climate changes from occurring. I'm interested in this topic because climate changes in the Pacific are serious, and it's interesting to discuss and try to fix the problem. Okay, I like this because you're throwing in your personal opinion here, and that's what I was looking for. You're telling me why this matters. I'd like to know why it matters personally to you. And you're giving me a little bit more of that right here, which is really good. Then you talk about, so this is a little bit of a different, no, I mean, I like it. Yeah, I like that it's here. And you even give some statistics there. So I don't see any references. I don't see any, right here, because you have the statistic, I would expect that you'd have an in-text citation right here that would take me down to where a works cited page should be. Do you have a works cited? Oh, you don't have a works cited page. So that's necessary when you're using information from other places like this. You need to have your works cited page or a reference page with those, all the information so that I could go find those resources that you used. Okay, let's continue on though in your essay. you say, what are the causes and effects of climate changes? And you talk about those two main causes and effects. Now, at this point in your essay, I'm actually still kind of wondering, so was your main point to prove that climate changes affect people psychologically, physically, or are you trying to get me to believe that climate change is real or global warming's real? Are you trying to, yeah, I'm just confused. Do you want me to get on board with the whole idea that we need to change our activities and our behavior because humans are affecting this? Or are you trying to prove that that global warming and climate change does affect us? I'm just a little confused about that. Anyway, so here you talk all about how these greenhouse gases and yeah, factory. So I read all this and I liked it. I thought it was good information. But again, I wasn't totally sure at the end of this paragraph what exactly you want me to do. What are you trying to persuade me towards? Then here you say, what are the consequences of these causes for climate change in the Pacific? Aha. So this is a good question because it's letting me know what you're going to tell. You're going to tell me why I need to know this and what's important about this. You talk about how the nations and the territories of the Pacific Islands are contributing the least to global warming, but they are likely to suffer massively from its effects. I think it's a really good point that they are the one people in the Pacific Islands will suffer, but they are not the ones who are causing the problems. This is really good. It pulls at the heartstrings, so that was a good way to employ that sentence. That in itself is a threat to nations, yeah. Okay, so I like your tone. I like that you're calling out to the reader to plead for justice, basically, to plead for them to do something. Pacific Ocean function as a huge carbon sink for the world, but when CO2 is absorbed by it, the sea becomes more acid. Ooh, if these trends continue, the Pacific nations of the Marshall Islands are likely to lose their inhabitable land. Wow, I didn't realize any of that. Okay, so this is an awesome paragraph with lots of information. I'm wondering if this is just information you have up in your head or if you used a research source to get all of this. If you did, you should put that down in your reference page too. I didn't realize this. Well, I mean, I guess I did know about this, but I didn't ever look at it so specifically. I am not a scientist, so I haven't studied much about this. This is so fascinating. But again, at the end of this paragraph, I'm wondering, so what are you trying to persuade me towards? What do you want me to do? And I understand that your main topic is climate change and global warming, but what's your main point about it? Do you want me to do something about it, or do you want me to believe something about it? Tell me what you want me to do. You're trying to persuade me towards something. This is starting to feel like a research paper where you're just telling me about global warming and climate change in the Pacific Islands, but you're not really asking me to do anything yet. So I was starting to feel it up here at the top, how you were saying that people in the Pacific Island aren't the ones causing most of these problems that are going to be affecting them. I started to feel like you were trying to persuade me there, and then you kind of lost that persuasive power here because it started to sound researchy, not persuasive like. Okay, so right here you're talking about deforestation and how that's going to affect our lives. Yes, which is similar. It's the same topic, but not necessarily the same main point of your essay, so it kind of feels a little bit off. We must know how to prevent climate change by stopping cutting off the trees. Climate change by stopping cutting off the trees. That doesn't really make sense. So you need to say how to prevent climate change by not cutting down trees, saving energy, carpooling, etc. Therefore, okay, so you need to make this a capital. Therefore, let us work together to protect and love our beautiful Mother Earth that was given by God. Let's try to keep her healthy as long as we can. Okay, so that is what you wanted to persuade me to do. If that's what you were trying to persuade me to do, that statement needs to also be up here at the beginning. You need to say here, we need to protect Mother Earth You need to reiterate that in the intro, and the conclusion should both state your thesis statement. This sounds like a thesis statement. This kind of didn't. So I'm a little confused about that, but overall, the topic was really clear. But your main point about what you were persuading me to do was a little bit unclear. So hopefully that gave you some thoughts about what you can do to improve your writing in the next essay. Make sure your main focus is very clear. All right. Thanks for writing. Bye.